Congratulations on your purchase of the Kreg Precision Beaded Faceframe system. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the simple steps to set up the system and create a basic faceframe. Let's get started. First, connect the T-slot hardware to the bottom of the sliding base. Slide it into your router table's T-slot and lock down anywhere along the length of your router table using the T-knobs. If your router table doesn't have a T-slot, see your instruction manual for details. Now, place the 1/4 inch button head screws through the face of the sliding base and barely thread on the 1/4 inch nuts. Slide the fence onto the nuts and prop it up using the included spacers on each end. This is important so that the fence will float freely above the table surface when the screws are tightened and the assembly is complete. Using a straight piece of scrap wood, align the left edge of the fence to the sliding base. With the two aligned, you can now secure them together using the included ball and Allen wrench and remove the spacers holding the fence in place above the table. There are two ways to attach your handle. You can connect the handle directly to the sliding base in any of the slots on the top side by simply removing the plastic guard, sliding it in, and tightening it into place. Or you can attach the handle to the end of the control arm for additional control and ease of use. See your instruction manual for details. The final step in the setup process is to assemble the router table stop by following the included instructions and assemble the integrated clamp with the long T-bolt, spacer, 1/4 inch washer, and 1/4 inch nut. Once assembled, lock the clamp into position on the left side of the fence about 1 inch from the edge. Well, that's all there is to assembly. So let's take a few minutes and get the system dialed in, and then we'll make a faceframe. Begin by installing the 1/2 inch dowel pin in your router. Then set your stop to exactly 1/4 inch using the magnified lens cursor. With the T-slot knobs loosened, carefully slide the entire assembly until the stop approaches the edge of the dowel pin and just kisses the edge. Don't press too hard. The stop should still be able to swing freely once in place. Once in position, apply forward pressure to the assembly with your thumbs to prevent movement, and lock the knobs down firmly. To verify that you've set the fence correctly, reset your stop to the 0 position and check to see that the stop is perfectly centered with the dowel pin. Now you can remove the dowel pin and replace it with the included 1/4 inch notching bit. Lock the bit into place in your router and set the height precisely using the included 1/4 inch setup bar. Be very careful with this step as the height of the bit must be exact. With the bit set appropriately, use a scrap piece of stock, secure it to the fence using the integrated clamp, and make a test cut in the middle of the workpiece. Now use the top side of the setup bar to test the depth of the cut once complete. If your cut is too deep, you'll need to lower the bit. If the setup bar teeters, you'll need to raise the bit slightly. With your test cuts made and your cutter depth properly set, you're ready to make the cuts in the actual workpieces. For this step, you'll be following example 1 in your instruction manual. You'll also be cutting both stiles at once to reduce the possibility of tear out and to ensure that both stiles are cut exactly the same. Lay your stiles in front of you and sandwich the show sides together, ensuring the pieces are aligned correctly, and use masking tape to secure the two pieces together. With your stop positioned at 0, gently press the workpieces against the stop. Remember to lock the workpiece in place with the integrated clamp before cutting. The end notches at the top and bottom of the stiles will need 2 passes to achieve the flat notch that receives the rails for final assembly. After the first pass, move the stop to 3/4 inch and make the second pass. Remember to always let the bit come to a complete stop before repositioning the workpiece. Now repeat this process on the other end to complete both ends of the stiles. Since the drawer opening will be 5 inches, set the stop at 7 1/4 inches, clamp, and make your cut at the center of the rail. With all of the correct cuts made on the stiles, you're ready to move on to the rails. Set your router table stop at 1/2 inch on the left side of the bit. Gently rest the workpiece against the stop and clamp down firmly. Make the cut and then flip the workpiece to repeat. On the center rails, you'll be making the same cut to all 4 corners. On the outer rails, you'll just be trimming the inner corners. After all the rails have been machined, dry fit the pieces and make any adjustments as necessary. When all of the pieces fit correctly, you're ready to add a bead to each workpiece. Now, remove the 1/4 inch notching bit and insert the 1/4 inch beading bit, and replace the precision beaded face frame fence with your standard router fence. Next, carefully set the height of the bit by using the included setup bar. The top of the cutter, just below the bearing, should be just touching the bottom of the setup bar. Lock the bit into place, bring the bit up to speed, and run each workpiece through as desired. The center rails will get both sides machined, while the stiles and the upper and lower rails will only get machined on one side. Again, dry fit the workpieces to ensure a proper fit. If everything is as it should be, you're now ready to assemble with Kreg joinery. Any of our popular Kreg jigs or our high-speed production machines designed for woodworking professionals will work perfectly.
Well, that's all there is to creating a beautiful beaded face frame. But you know what? That's just one example of what you can do with this system. There are plenty of other profiles and accessories that you can use to really personalize your project. For more information about those, visit kregtool.com.